Hey guys, welcome back to the channel Just Boxing. My name's Ryan and today we're going to be talking about Tommy Fury, Jake Paul 2. The fight's been cancelled, guys. What can I say? I could have probably predicted this one. In my personal opinion, Tommy Fury doesn't want anything to do with Jake Paul, and we're going to get into it today. But before we do, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and thanks for stopping here, guys. Let's just get straight into this one. Let's go. Boom. So here we are. I've just stumbled across this. Tommy Fury. Tommy fumbles. Let's get into it. Let's see what he has to say.
So recently on social media, I've seen more shit on me than ever. I just want to get one thing straight, that the reason this fight didn't take place was because I couldn't get in the country. Not because I wasn't training or I wasn't fit.
Right, so I've heard contradicting stories, all right? Even his dad has said that he allegedly wasn't fit, and we're going to get into that in a little bit. He's actually put a statement out on DAZN, I believe, so it's not looking too good for Tommy Fury. The second time he's pulled out of this fight. Now, there was the story of where he said that he got stopped at the airport. I don't know. There's no photos. There's nothing. All right. He's a relatively big superstar in the United Kingdom. All right. For what he does, there's a lot of people taking photos of him everywhere he goes. Not one photo in Heathrow Airport. What do you make of it? I smell a little bit of bullshit. But hey, guys, who am I? Let's get into it, see what else he's got to say.
I was ready and raring to go. I was at the airport Monday morning with my whole team, ready to fly out and ready to get the show on the road.
Ready to fight? I don't know. I think he's probably bottled it yet again. I mean, why wouldn't you? When you think about it, Jake Paul has improved a hell of a lot since his last few fights. I personally didn't like him to start with, but you know, you got to give him credit. The past few fights, he's looked all right. He has fought a UFC champion in Tyrone Woodley. Hey guys, I don't think Tommy Fury wants anything to do with him just yet. I don't think he wants nothing to do with him forever, but just yet, I don't think so.
I could not get in the country, and that's why this fight didn't happen. So all this bullshit about me not being ready, not training, forget about it. If it's not come from me, don't believe it, because it's not the truth.
Right, so even his dad, all right, even his dad was talking about this. And he said, well, let's just get into it. What did he say? Jake Paul. So his father, Tommy Fury, on DAZN, he said that he probably needed a little bit more time to train for camp, that he hasn't been training too much. I mean, you got to read into it, you know. His dad, John Fury, he speaks the truth, a lot of truth most of the time as well. He's a passionate guy. So for him to say anything slightly negative about Tommy, you've got to kind of believe it then, haven't you? Which is worrying, really. Is the lifestyle that Tommy Fury's living with Molly May a little bit too glamorous, a little bit too celebrity? Is he really the fighting man he says he is, being a Fury? I personally don't think he's anything like the rest of his family. I think he's been brought up very differently. He's definitely not someone who I'd be scared to fight, you know, and I haven't had a fight in over 10 years. He just hasn't got that fear factor associated with the gypsies that I know. I've got many friends who are gypsies, who are travellers, who are hard as bloody nails. This guy doesn't ooze the same fighting spirit as far as I'm concerned. But hey, again, who am I? Let's have a look what Jake Paul said. So he's talking about so Tommy Fury. This is what his father said. The father of Tommy Fury, John, said some advice for his American rival. Jake Paul is a divisive figure in the sport of boxing. He is a divisive figure, but I think he's good for boxing, all right? Again, you don't have to like him to realise that he's actually putting pay packets up for people. He was offering Tommy Fury, I think, £2 million to fight him. Does Tommy Fury deserve that? Be real. There's fighters fighting their lives out for careers and never getting that kind of money. I don't think he deserves it, but he's paying the paychecks. It's one of those dangerous industries to be in. So hey, if they can put the fight packets up, the paychecks up, all good, I think. But Jake Paul is a divisive figure in the sport of boxing with no amateur experience and a 5-0 record. Paul has quickly become one of the sport's biggest names. He has become one of the sport's biggest names. But you've got to look at it this way. People saying that he's got no amateur experience. Trust me, guys, the people who he's training with in the gym on a daily basis, the people who he's sparring with on a daily basis, this guy's getting better experience in a boxing gym than pretty much 95% of all boxers, amateur and professional right now. Unless you're on the Great Britain squad or the United States boxing squad or your national country's boxing squad or a top level professional, you know, you're not getting anywhere near the coaching that Jake Paul's getting. So yes, he might not have an amateur record. The amount of sparring sessions that this guy will have had with top level individuals is going to be better than an amateur career anyway. Let me know in the comments if you disagree. I don't care what anyone says. That's going to be better for him than Tommy Fury's amateur record. Amateur. It's just a fact. But hey, you know, that's the way it goes. It also says, where some fans may turn their noses at what Paul has achieved, the internet star has exposed boxing to younger audience, one which the sport sometimes struggle to reach. I agree with that. You know, the younger audience needed to come in, the younger guys and girls on social media are the ones who can generate the hype. So I do think that we needed that. It's massively important to get a new set of eyes in the boxing industry, and it's good. I think it's a force for good. But the article also says it is not just his exploits inside the ring which have made him a powerful figure. There is also what Paul has done with his promotional arm. He's helping other people in most valuable promotions. What's that girl? It's Amanda Cerrone. Yeah, she headlined at Madison Square Garden in April. You know, this wouldn't have happened without Jake Paul's promotions, and she certainly wouldn't have gotten the payday that she got with all of the fight to pay problems in the world of combat sports in general. You know, we just have to look at Dana White in the UFC, not paying his fighters a minimum wage of, Jake Paul wants it to be $50K per fight. I mean, that's still not a lot of money in the grand scheme of things for getting your head kicked in, getting your neck broke. But hey, it's a start, you know, and Jake Paul is pushing for that. So, yeah, I think he's a force for good. Why has the fight been cancelled? And that's the big question. I genuinely think Tommy Fury has just bottled it. I generally think that's what I just think he's bottled it. I think he's too famous, though, to have a good excuse to get out this fight. And Jake Paul knows that. That's why he's pushing it. He wants him to come out and be like, hey, I just don't want this heat yet. Fair play. He hasn't had that many professional fights. I guarantee he probably hasn't had nowhere near as good sparring as Jake Paul has. I don't think he's got the infrastructure behind him. Although his brother is Tyson Fury, I still don't think he's going to have as quality train as Jake Paul. So there's a lot of factors involved. And Tommy Fury knows that Jake Paul is a dangerous son of a bitch. Trust me. Let's have a look at him. Let's have a look at Tommy Fury's last fight.
Introducing to you first, fighting tonight out of the red corner, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, hang on, what was that record there? What was that record there?
The red corner, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, missed it again. 10-2 and what? 27. Yeah, I mean, okay, happy days. He's probably his hardest opponent to date. I've never heard of him. Have you ever heard of him? Not a lot of people have probably heard of this guy.
Gentlemen, please welcome Daniel Bochenski.
Okay, whatever.
And his opponent across the ring fighting tonight out of the blue.
The fact that he's fighting there at Wembley, it blows my mind. All right, it blows my mind. I would beat Tommy Fury. I'm not going to say here I could beat Jake Paul because he's a class act. But I reckon I'd be able to put the gloves on, 6 weeks train, and kick Tommy Fury's ass.
He is undefeated with 7 wins. 4 of his 7.
Okay, bored of this intro. Let's have a look at the first few opening seconds.
Tommy Fury, 1 defeat in 11 contests for him. It's Fury's first fight since last August after twice having to pull out against Jake Paul through injury.
Yeah, injury, still not really confirmed if that was a legitimate injury or not. I personally don't think it was.
And illness. The black and silver.
Okay, so half-decent jab.
For Daniel Bochenski, who's got a 4-inch reach advantage.
Holds his hands a little bit too low for me. He's got a elusive style of movement, but I don't really think it suits him as well as he thinks it does. It's the Fury way, all right? The Furies like to be elusive, they like to have good movement and stuff. I just don't think it's his way. I think he's going to get caught with those low hands off Jake Paul. Jake Paul can bang, that's for sure. Trust me, guys. Okay, so we're looking at a lad who isn't experienced in the opposite corner in Daniel, and he's pushing Tommy Fury back. He's pushing him back. Jake Paul would push him back all day long, but he'd be capitalising on that with power punches.
Counter Bochenski as he came in.
But that was a super jab there from Tommy Fury. Bang on the button.
The guy just looks a little bit amateurish to me. Yeah, he had an amateur career, but he didn't do particularly well in the amateurs either. It's all too common with these famous people jumping in a boxing ring. In that short clip there, honestly, I genuinely believe that Jake Paul, he doesn't just outbox him over however many rounds they're going to fight. I think he actually knocks him out. I think he knocks him out early. I think Tommy Fury is, he's a typical professional fighter who looks green, who needs a little bit of time to grow. Professional fighters need that. You got to respect how hard that game is. They need time to grow. Anthony Joshua was an Olympian. He needed time to grow into the professional sphere a little bit. 10, 15, 20 fights in, he was still looking and learning. So it's no different for Tommy Fury. But I just don't think at this point in time that he, I don't even think he could win an area title as a professional at this moment in time. Never mind beat Jake Paul, who I believe, if he was an amateur right now, I think Jake Paul would be probably good enough to represent the United States, at least a state, definitely. He'd be a good amateur, all right? I think he would be a good amateur. Now, early on, a few fights ago, people might have disagreed, but you've got to give the guy credit. Look at his sparring sessions. Look at the way he's handled himself. He's turned himself into a professional fighter without an amateur background in a few short years, really. And I actually admire that. I really am a fan of the guy. Tommy Fury, yeah, do I think this fight will happen? I don't think it's going to happen this year. I think it's going to happen at one point in time, but I think it's going to happen when Tommy Fury really, really gets pushed publicly with this. I think, people are going to turn their backs on him a little bit. And I think his dad is starting to do that a little bit as well with the excuses that he's making. I don't think when Tommy Fury becomes less relevant, which I think is going to happen from all of this coming out in the media, I think he's going to be forced into this. But I don't think he's going to be forced out of it just yet. I think he's going to ride the wave a little bit longer. He's going to watch how he performs against this Hassan Rahman's son, who is a professional fighter, quite a decent one of that. I think he's going to watch that fight. I think when Jake Paul knocks Hassan Jr. out, I think Jake Paul is going to, pretty much seal the deal that Tommy Fury doesn't want to fight him anytime soon after that. But depending on how this fight goes, depends on how this fight goes with Tommy Fury, in my personal opinion. But definitely not happening this year, that's for sure. It won't happen this year. Is it going to happen? Well, I think it has to. I think the public want this to happen more than anything. They want to actually see Tommy Fury get knocked out now. All right, I do anyway. The fact that he's pulled out the fight twice, it's not looking good for him, guys. But let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments. Do you think Tommy Fury has what it takes to beat Jake Paul? Will the fight actually take place in the end at all? I don't think it will take place this year. Next year, the sky's the limit. But hey, guys, if you've made it this far, thanks for watching. Please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. And if you like this type of content, then let us know, guys. We will be back in another one very soon. Thanks for watching. Peace.